Alexander, you've been leading AI vision at Rhapsody, helping brands understand how to use AI not just faster, but smarter. For those who might not know you yet, can you tell us a bit about your background and how your work at Rhapsody connects human creativity with artificial intelligence?
Right. So first of all, I have more like a tech background. So I used to work for a company that was responsible for training large language models as well as Gen AI models. And this is where I sort of learned a lot about the chance of boosting your business with AI, but also the limitations, because everyone talks about how highly intelligent neural networks have become. And yes, that is partly true. But the other part of the story is that it involves a lot of human in the loop training. And this is also the approach that I implemented within Rhapsody, that we use the human power that we already possess, meaning the 30 years of experience of videography, photography, web design, and merge it with the up-to-date technology, which of course is AI-led. But the human part really, I think, makes us stand out from the crowd, because we are not promising our clients that we will solve all their business problems and make the perfect content with a magic wand within seconds. It's more like we tell them, you can use AI, we're using AI, but only to 70% or 80% degree, or the degree that we seem to be a good fit, and the rest we're doing with human-led creativity.
Well, I think that's a good lead into my next question. As we move into 2026, how do you see AI evolving in the world of brand content creation?
Well, exactly in the right way, I think, because at the moment I see the world being in an AI bubble, similar to the dot-com crisis. And next year will be a lot clearer in the sense that people are now used to using AI, especially for content generation. They're used to tools like Weavy, where they implemented that in the workflow. But they also have taught themselves the limitations of AI. Everyone knows that it's not the perfect content out of the box. So there's still a lot of requirements on retouching, on making it look brand fitted, making it campaign ready. And I think that's sort of a good thing, because people will then see, okay, AI might not threaten my job because I'm using it. And if you're not using it, then yes. But if you're using it, it's more like, okay, it can enhance my workflow, but I have to be an expert in some fields. Otherwise, it's not necessary to use AI at all, or it's not really beneficial. I mean, there are lots of studies out there that say that 89% of agentic workflows don't seem to benefit businesses. And I think that's a shocking statistic. And it will become way clearer on how to really maximize AI efficiency with the human in the loop approach in the next year. And hopefully there will be more powerful models coming out.
Why would you say that companies aren't yet benefiting from AI workflows? Is it lack of understanding how to use them or implement them?
Well, it's the ground truth, which is the data itself, right? Data quality, data sources. That is, I think, the biggest bottleneck that many clients, but especially providers, are not really outlining yet. So what usually happens is there's a company approaching another company and say, yeah, we worked on these 3 agents and they will solve X, Y, and Z within your business within seconds, and you can replace 3,000 of your workforce. That's not really how agents are working, and AI is working itself, right? First of all, you need to make sure that you have the right data quality, the right data sources, that the agent has access to the right data sources, that the formatting of the data is right, that you have the right staff and personnel trained on how to handle data quality and are responsible for it, so accountable as well. And then agents can be really powerful, but only in the thousands, right? The less task an agent has within an organization, the better it performs, because it's like a human, right? If you tell a human to read the whole library, it comes out and the human doesn't really know a whole lot. But if you tell the human, just read Dickens 30,000 times, it will be an expert in Dickens. And that's sort of how you should start to think about AI.
Um, when it comes to how do you see AI influencing brands in storytelling? So is there a difference in the workflows versus the way that it's used when it comes to content creation and what most people use, which is ChatGPT, right? How is it evolving, and how do brands start to if they don't know anything beyond ChatGPT, what would you say their first step is?
Well, that's an interesting question. It's highly beneficial if the staff is already using ChatGPT because they're used to train AI systems. I mean, if you, for example, tell ChatGPT, no, that's a mistake, it's not in this document, then ChatGPT, you know that as well. It says, oh, thank you, yes, I just noticed. That is human-led training, right? You tell the AI that's not right, and the AI recognizes that and then learns from your prompts, basically. So the AI will get better by the day if you use it company internally, so that's good. And then you can build APIs to ChatGPT internal systems, and mostly repetitive tasks are, I think, replaced by agentic workflows, because there are so many repetitive tasks over and over again, whether they're administrative or when brands have to fill out orders or Excel sheets, that will definitely be replaced, I think, with a whole lot efficiency gains next year. And on the content side, it will be similar, but it will be more restricted because brands now know that it's not the magic wand. People notice pure AI content, as we've seen with J.Crew or Shein, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's lots of backlash. Which I think is a bit unfair, because I think you should applaud brands of utilizing AI to its fullest degree, but obviously it has its flaws. So there will be lots of checkpoints when it comes to content generation, whether it's text or image or video. And this will be sort of human-led still, right? Whether it's the client or us ensuring that the quality of the image is as real to life as it can get, right, in the end.
Well, that leads me to another question. How can brands use AI responsibly without losing their voice or that integrity? So you gave an example of there was a lot of backlash with J.Crew and Shein. So I think my question is, where did they go wrong? Did they?
Well, they sort of used AI without human checkpoints, so to speak, right? So there was no human interaction. They just automated the whole e-com store, that is Shein, for example, with AI. On J.Crew, they have not done their research properly because it was a sailing image, I think. I remember correctly. And some people obviously know how a sailing boat looks like and the ropes, etc. So they pointed it out quite easily. And the internet can be really powerful in the sense that it's the biggest source of knowledge. I mean, the whole AI that we're using on a day-to-day basis is trained on the internet and on Reddit primarily. So it is human knowledge that is sort of in the internet. So you can't just post something pure AI, I think, unless it's flagged as pure AI and experimental. The best chance that you can have to keep the integrity as a brand is to have human responsibility, like with anything else in the business, right? You have someone that's responsible for the quality of the image, as well as with the external vendor, someone providing the image, doing the quality checks themselves. And as I keep on saying to clients, the human in the loop can also be an expert in agriculture, in sailing, whatever the image has in of itself, right? People used to do that for shootings as well. So you should have a similar approach with AI, right? You can't just let AI make a guess, because if it needs to make a guess, it's hallucinating and it's obviously doing something.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
So speaking of that, hallucinations, do you think that there's a line between inspiration and a limitation when using generative AI tools? Like, what are those lines?
Well, the line is definitely blurred. I think the best use case of Gen AI so far is the immediate start. If we talk about content generation, we can literally go on a call with a client, have a first discovery, let's say, what's their brand, what's their knowledge, what's their campaign, what's their next step, and then we can go to the drawing board, which was not possible beforehand because the shooting day, the planning, the budgeting, all of that just got removed, and you can start to draft anything with AI. And that's where I also encourage the client in using Gen AI to give us examples. It worked really well if the client prompted a ChatGPT, it doesn't really matter, or any Gen AI system, and gave us an example of the mood they want to create, for example, or they just take something from Pinterest or from Google Images, whatever it might be. Then you can create some sort of mood board, and our creatives are doing a brilliant job in implementing that into the first step of prompting before you even start as Rhapsody with imagery or video.
Sure. Since brands are sharing so much information, like huge amounts of creative data and just data in general, how can they innovate confidently while still protecting sensitive assets?
Well, the future of AI is not in the cloud. That's at least what I believe.
Mhm.
I think there will be very powerful knowledge management systems, AI systems for each organization, right? Because the AI is basically at the end of the training data cycle, right? There's lots of vendors that are selling data, training data, for a specific reason, because you definitely have scraped everything that the internet offers, right? And I mean, articles are, released and published by the minute, by the second, even in the internet, but still the training database is a bit limited, right? The most powerful data is on the client's premises. That's 100% true. And combining that with the power of the internet and all the data in the internet, that is really the magic wand that people wish for, right? So first, to prepare for next year, but also to prepare for a powerful implementation of agentic workflows within your organization, you should definitely look at the, as I say, data that's available to you. Is it OCRable? So, can the AI detect characters within a PDF, or is it just a Photoshop? Stuff like that is really, really important to prepare yourself for usage of AI. And then you sort of cut off the internal system when using agents and the rest of the internet, meaning a ChatGPT, for example, because then you don't have the copyright infringements or some data leaks to servers in California or servers in China or wherever. And I think that really mitigates most of the risks when using AI within the organization.
Yeah, that's very helpful. Good warning to let brands know. How do you think brands can build internal guardrails for safe and compliant AI use? Like, is there expanding beyond just the basic risk warnings?
Well, a very good step forward is that many companies, especially in Germany, are now moving away from Azure, for example, right? There is a risk, obviously, as we've seen with AWS and Azure, complete system failures, right? If the whole system shuts down, many organizations face problems. So if you have a local server provider or even a VPN locally, that really mitigates most of the errors that are possible. So I really highly encourage everyone to have a local GPU, CPU, just download on a day-to-day basis an LLM or Gen AI system that you need. It's possible, it's very easy to implement that within the organization. And I think that should be the way moving forward, that you have smaller agentic systems, mix a hybrid of several models that are out there, not just ChatGPT, but a Mistral for different purposes, a Nano Banana in content generation. So there's a plethora of options, and you definitely have to determine the purpose of why you want to use AI, in which fields, and then do your own quality assessments, because there's so much stuff out there. And then also to not keep it fixed. It's very important to always keep on looking, even on a daily basis, because it's such a fast-moving ship that you can't really lock yourself into one system, I'd say.
Do you think there'll come a point where it's like, okay, we've all adjusted and now it's not changing as fast, or are we all going to be constantly chasing the next, model or next innovation?
Well, as it's a bubble, and I sort of wish that it bursts sooner rather than later, because then it will be a few champions and hidden champions, like with any other industry, like with cars. Autonomous driving, I think, is a very, very good example if you compare that to the AI craze, because in autonomous driving, people were very skeptical, right? And then they were highly optimistic. It was super hyped up, and then it said tomorrow everyone will drive a robo-taxi. And now we have Waymo, for example, San Francisco, which works brilliantly, and people are using it, but it's just in San Francisco. It will come at some point, but that is sort of the system that works best, so far as I'm concerned. So it will be similar in the AI space, where there will be some systems that just have proven themselves.
Yeah.
Right?
I think that is difficult. If brands aren't living and breathing and super knowledgeable about AI, it can be daunting to know where to invest in first, and how to lean into AI in a smart way that's not costing more money, since in the end it is supposed to save, brands money.
Correct. And that's a very good point, Bobby, because there are many examples where AI was more costly than normal process automation, right? Or even just human-led change of staff or change of HR. That is really something that people have to keep in mind. Just use your human intelligence in how to assess whether AI is useful or not. I think people tend to forget, and they just say, okay, we will just replace everything with AI, especially in management. But I think that's very dangerous, and you should be wise and step by step start to implement, as I said, data structure, data responsibility, who is responsible for the data quality within my business, right? And then maybe look into classic standard robotic process automations, and then only then, if you see there might be benefit, because it's a highly repetitive task and we have so much documented already from the past, then it makes sense to start using agents.
Yeah. If you could give a brand one piece of advice for using AI in 2026, what would it be?
Definitely a local hosting. So local GPU, CPU, even servers. Okay, you can have a server instance with Azure, that might be a possibility, but really keep it very local, and shut yourself down from having access to the internet when you need it to, right? So if it's highly confidential data, if it's prototypes, if it's R&D data, then definitely makes sense to shut yourself down and have some sort of internal loop that is not connected to a server or like an outside server or the internet, and then make the internet accessible when you don't have confidential data, right? For example, when the client gives us some brainstorming ideas with ChatGPT, that's perfectly fine. Or if they are looking for new inspirations, that's also fine. And then I think the hybrid, again, would make a lot of sense.
Do you have a personal favorite way of using AI at home when it's not dealing with work? Like, is your whole house automated?
No, absolutely not. I'm very old school. I don't. I mean, obviously I use all the models that are available to me on a daily basis, but I don't have Alexa or Siri on, which should tell you a lot. And I keep everything, let's say, as not connected to the internet as possible.
What are you most excited to see come out of it, this AI bubble?
I think some free up time for people. I think we tend to forget. We say AI will replace humans, but if you use AI wisely and intelligently, there will be more time, whether it's family, whether it's your own hobby. Psychology is a very important aspect. People are very frustrated with repetitive tasks. There are many studies out there, right? That people actually don't like to do these repetitive tasks, most of them, right? So if that's replaced by AI, maybe that frees up, a more space for, let's say, personal and private life, and that could lead to more, let's say, better output at work, because people are just, moved to different departments and have a better usability of their creativity or their efficiency.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. It was really great to speak with you today. I appreciate you sharing all of your knowledge.
Thank you, Bob.